Hey guys, beautiful morning, beautiful afternoon, and beautiful evening to every one of you, my lovely family. How are we all doing? Oh my gosh, I know we're doing all right. I know we're doing amazing, fine. All right, guys. So, guys, in today's video, we're going to be talking about something very important. One of my colleagues, she was my OSCE student. She's passed her OSCE. She's now a UKRON. She called me one day. She was crying seriously. I said, "What's the matter?" She said, "Nurse Violet, I'm tired. I'm tired of this country." I said, "What's the matter? Speak up. You're making me scared." And she said to me, I moved into my accommodation after the hospital accommodation had expired for 3 months. And when I moved in, just by walking upstairs to my accommodation, my neighbor just came out and said to me, "Why are you walking like that? You have to, when you walk into your accommodation, you have to tiptoe. Why are you walking like that and disturbing my cat? You're disturbing my cat. My cat can't sleep. You're walking." Oh my God. So guys, we'll be talking about that in today's video. I'll tell you everything, the frustration she faced, how you should go about it. Because a lot of us, when we rent an accommodation and we're packing out, they want to claim our deposits. I'll tell you how you should go about it in today's video. So guys, this is a video you have to watch to the end. And if you faced any challenges with accommodation, drop it below, and I'll also read it. Okay guys, so if you're meeting me for the very first time, my name is Violet Okolocha. On this channel I actually talk about everything you need to know to pass your OSCE exam, nursing, and sometimes I just try to say things that happens and say it the way they are. All right, so guys, do well to like, do well to share, and do well to subscribe. All right, so guys, let's get started on this video. So guys, she then called me and said the first day she went to the apartment, she's viewed the apartment, and she was just moving her things bit by bit so that she can now apply for a family to join her in the UK. And the neighbor downstairs, the white neighbor, she just opened the door and said, "Why are you walking like that? You're walking too fast. Did you realize my cat is sleeping? Don't walk like that next time. Make sure when you're walking down the stairs, you are tiptoeing, you're walking gently. You should remember I have a cat." Oh my God, and that threw her off balance. That was the beginning of our problems. That was the beginning of our struggles in that home. And I said to her, "Did you let them know when you were renting the house that you have a husband and you have 3 children coming to stay with you? Because if your neighbor is already complaining that you walking is disturbing a cat, how much more when your husband comes and your 3 children comes?" And she said to me, that she's been looking for an accommodation. Guys, it's no new that getting an accommodation in the UK is a big deal. I'm not exaggerating, guys. Getting an accommodation in the UK can be a big deal. Yes, she said all the time she's been trying to get an accommodation. Once she has a husband, she has 3 children. They said, "Oh no, 2-bedroom flat is not convenient for you." And on another instance, she said they asked of the sex, and she said she has 3 boys. They say, "Oh no, we're not happy to give this accommodation to somebody who has up to 3 children. This accommodation can only be for man, the wife, and the child." Sometimes she gets a 3-bedroom. She said there was a day she went for the viewing for 3-bedroom. The 3-bedroom was so expensive, £1,200 for the 3-bedroom. And they said that it is only a man, a woman, and 2 children it can take. And she has 3 children. Oh my God. And here in the UK, you pay monthly for your accommodation. And the accommodation is so expensive. Imagine a 3-bedroom, £1,200 in allocation. And she said to me, even the 2-bedroom, she saw £1,000. They say it can only be a couple and 1 child. So she said, "What will I do?" She said, so this accommodation she finally got, she lied. She just said to them, it's just she and the husband that will be staying in the accommodation. And they gave her the 2-bedroom flat. They rented it to her. So she didn't tell them about children. To be honest, she did lie. But I kind of understand, because when you're desperate to bring in your husband, you're desperate to bring in your wife, you're desperate to bring in your children, in short, you're desperate to bring in your loved ones, and you're not getting an accommodation, and their visa is out, and you just have 1 month left to bring them in. You can do a lot of things. You can even go as far as saying that you just have husband and wife. So I try to understand people before judging them. So I said to her, "I kind of understand your situation. You did this because you were desperate to bring your family, and you couldn't afford a 3-bedroom flat, and there's no income, there's not much income, because you've only spent 3 months in the UK, you just earned 3 months salary." So I said, "I kind of understand, but why is your neighbor like that?" So I said to her, just Don't get yourself worked up about it. Just overlook when next you're coming down from the step or you're going to the stair, because she lives upstairs and the neighbor lives downstairs. Just try and tiptoe, okay? And we ended the conversation. It didn't get better. Oh, it got worse. She said to me there was a day a colleague at work said, "Can I see your new house?" And immediately that one, she just opened the door for that one to enter. Immediately they were walking upstairs. The neighbor was like, "Oh my God, you're so noisy. What country do you come from? You're such a noisy fellow. You make noise about, you bother me. Oh no, I can't take this anymore." And she was like, "God, when my family comes in, what is going to happen?" That was our greatest fear. And finally, she brought in her family. The day the family landed, children now, especially our own children, young children, you can't stop them from playing, especially at a certain age, because our eldest was like 8, 6, 4. You can't stop them from, doing the child things they know how to do. And the day the children came, she said with so much aggression, she just heard a knock on her door. With so much aggression, as if the door was breaking, as if the world was coming down. Woo, 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 And she was describing it to me. She called me that night. She said, "Nosfi, I've never been this scared in my life." That the lady was just shouting, screaming. "Who else did you bring into this apartment? Who are those matching the floor? Oh my God, this house is uncomfortable. I can't take this anymore. I have to report to the environmental team." And she's just been on my neck then. So what I did for her, I just had to pray for her. I prayed for her that night. I said, "God, come and take control over the situation. Come and be involved. It's only you we have." I just prayed for her, and the next morning I called her and I said to her, "What happened?" She said, "Nothing yet, but the woman said she was going to invite environmental team." I said, "Okay, don't worry. I will discuss with some of our ancestors." When I mean ancestors, we mean those of our nurses that have been here for 10 years. They've gotten that indefinite leave to remain. They are like our patrons. They are our matrons. They tell us things to do. And I discussed with one of them. And she said, "Tell her to be patient, nothing special, and let's see how it goes." So she told me, "Violet, I'm willing to help her at any stage. Just tell her to give us updates." And so I reassured her. And after like 2 days, she received a letter from environmental team. An environmental team was like, they can fine her as far as £10,000, £4,000 for constituting noise nuisance to the environment, that this is a serious offense. So they sent her a letter to reply why she's constituting nuisance to the environment, and she sent the letter to me. I would have read the letter, but there's no really need to read it. So this was just what they wrote. "You are constituting nuisance to the environment, and this is a serious offense, and you can pay a fine as far as £8,000, £10,000 thereabout for this." And she was worked up. She was not happy anymore. At work, she was not happy. In the house, she was not happy. She was just going through so many stress. And I sent her a message. I said, "This is what you should reply to them. Tell them that you are in no way constituting any nuisance to the environment. You are not playing music. You are not disturbing anybody. You just have 3 young boys in the house who are doing the children things, and that they should come to investigate this matter, as you are feeling your neighbor downstairs is harassing you, is threatening your life." And I sent her the message to write to them. And I said to her, "If that neighbor comes knocking at your door, make sure to do a video. Make sure to do a video officially. Just try to have an evidence." And the case lingered on. The neighbor kept on harassing her. And so she called the agent where she rented the house, and the agent was like, "Can you really tell us if you have more persons in the house?" And because she lied, she was desperate to get an accommodation, and so she lied. She didn't tell them that, "Oh my God, I have 3 children, I have an husband, I have a husband," so she didn't tell them a lot. So she was really scared. And one day she said she was in the house, she heard a knock, and she went, and it was the agents. When they came to the house, they saw the husband, they saw the 3 children, and the agent was like, "Why did you lie to us? I thought you said this house is just for you and your husband." She said, "Yes, actually, the dad was looking after the children. She just made up some stories, and so the children just came for a while that they will be going back, blah, blah, blah." And the agent was like, "No way. This house, 2-bedroom flat, going for £850 is just for a man, a wife, and just no children at all is allowed to live here. This 2-bedroom flat is not suitable for children, not even one. So because of this, you have to look for an accommodation and move out ASAP, as soon as possible." And so that was the height of it. So she said to me, "Nosvale, what do I do?" I said, "The ball is at your court. All you need to do is to patiently look for an accommodation. Don't rush. Thank God she's reported it to the agent, she's reported it to environmental, and luckily for her, environmental sent her a mail, and environmental said to her that children noise are not constituted as environmental noise. So they are very sorry. You know, that's one thing I like about the UK, to be honest. Here in the UK, when people say it's a partial country, I bet to disagree, guys. I really bet to disagree, because I've done a lot in this country, and when I do it, I'm always winning. I don't know if you get. So it's a very fair country to everybody. So environmental committee, they discharged the case, and so she was desperately looking for an accommodation. Let me cut the long story short. She finally got an accommodation that could accommodate her and accommodate the children. All right, guys. And so when she got that accommodation, she moved out of the house. Guess what? They told her, when you move out of the house, you fill a form, we'll refund your deposits to you if after checking the house that the house is okay. And they came to check the house. After checking the house, they sent her a mail that a deposit of 850 pounds is not able to pay for the damages in that house. Guys, she stayed in that accommodation for just 4 months, and the damages in that house. So when she received the letter, she said to me, "Nurse Violet, who did I offend?" I said, calm down, let's have a proper look at this. So your deposit was 850 or 800, and she said to me, "That's my deposit." I said, okay, so now what they are fining you for is more than your deposit, is that it? And she said, yes. And I said, be honest with me, are your children writing on the walls, doing anything? She said, "Nurse Violet, my children are not really noisy. That lady is just being unfair. Outside the TV I hanged in my parlor, every other thing in that house was intact. I cleaned the whole house." And I said to her, "Did you use an oven to clean your oven when you were moving out?" She said, "I didn't do that, but I made sure I cleaned the oven, everything thoroughly." And I said, okay, what are they charging you for? She said they were charging her 250 pounds for cleaning. I have it here, 225 pounds for damages, and 375 pounds for redecoration. And so I asked her, who keeps your deposits? And she said it was the tenancy dispute team. And she said, so the tenancy dispute team has sent her a message that this is what the agent is claiming on behalf of the landlord, and that so she has to send her own evidence. She asked to send her own evidence, or if she feels they are right, then she doesn't have to do anything. So she was like, she had a talk with her husband, and the hubby was like, I just think we should give it to them. We've been in so much struggle since we came to the UK. We've been in so much quarrels. I just think we should have peace. So she said to me, "Nurse Violet, thanks for your help, but this is what my hubby said." I said to her, hang on, I'll discuss with some persons and I'll get back to you, okay? And she said, that's fine. So I remember discussing her with one of my friends, Mrs. Abigail Gumola, and she said to me, fight for your rights. Yes, guys. She said to me, tell her to fight for her rights. Tell her no way she should provide evidences, since she's so sure that she didn't spoil the house, neither did her kids do it. She should send photographs. So I said to her, send photograph to the agents, write to the agents. And she said, "Not Violet, I didn't snap anything in that house." Oh my God. So guys, my first advice today, when you are moving into an accommodation, snap the house, snap the kitchen, snap the toilet, snap every bit in that house for evidence. Because sometimes, what if they are claiming your deposits, you know, and you didn't even spoil anything? So you have to have something you have to look up to, that this is what I have, this is my evidence, and so it will speak for you. So when I told her to, you know, to fight for her rights, I told her, discuss with your husband, it's up to you and your husband, but this is what I think, and I think if you do it this way, she'll get it. And she said, I didn't have any evidence. I said, even if you don't have an evidence, write and tell them you didn't spoil anything in that house, that if they are in doubt, they should go and view the house, they should go and view the house you stayed, and check for themselves that this house is not fit for living. I say, fight for your rights. Give some statement. Tell them that you just stayed in that house for barely 4 months, and your children just stayed in that house for 1 month. How come they spoiled everything in that house and you are paying way above your deposits? You know. So I told her these are the things to write, guys. She wrote all of them. She didn't hear for them in the first month, and she called me. Was valid nothing. No, I said call them, and she called them, and they said they were still deliberating on the matter. Guys, the good news is, so at the end of the day, The landlord was claiming 250 for cleaning, 225 pounds for damages, 375 pounds for redecoration. At the end of the day, after the dispute team judged it, they refunded her around 700 pounds. They only gave the landlord 150 pounds. Yes. So a lot of times, guys, especially we who are immigrants, you should learn to fight for your right. Don't take it like, no, if I fight they will always win. No way. Things are not really done like that here in the UK. They weigh issues. So guys, learn to fight for your right. And she called me and said to me, it was Violet, if you hadn't advised me, I would have been losing 700 pounds. Guys, you know what 700 pounds? You know, so she was really very grateful. She said to me, can you say a very big thank you to Mrs. Ogomola? I said, that's fine, you know. So guys, when you move into an apartment, make sure to snap every details in that apartment. There are some agents that even when you move out of an accommodation, they don't mind whether you spoil it or not. They'll paint it. One of my colleagues will work together. When she moved out of her accommodation, it was in a bad shape. The agents refunded her deposit and they repainted the house. Some agents are like that. But some other agents, they will take everything. They will take your deposits. So it's really good because you don't know which agents you'll be using. So it's really good for you to snap the houses, and when they need evidence, you provide evidences. So guys, she got her money back. And so in this UK, I will always encourage every one of you to really fight for your rights if you know you are right. And be careful also how to fight for your rights, especially in your place of work, because some people will say, oh, in my place of work they are treating me bad. Be very sure, because you know, when you're coming from Nigeria, or you're coming from Zimbabwe, or you're coming from Ghana, Filipinos, India, you're coming from a different continent entirely. Hope you know, guys. So when you now start practicing nursing here, it will be strange to you, and you might feel the people are not treating you well. I will tell you for sure, when you start getting along, like 8 months, 12 months, when you're in the UK, you will see that they are actually treating you well. It's just because you're coming from a different continent, okay? But when it comes to accommodation issue, I'll tell you 100%, fight for your rights, you will get it. Okay, guys? So this is all I have for you. Tell me what you think in the comment section, and tell me if you've had issues like this before in the past, how you dealt with it. All right, guys, I'll see you in my next video. And until I see you again, I love you all. Bye, guys.